Well, hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Hardcore Let's Play series. So, after we took a break from Minecraft with the beginning of the Pokemon Nuzlocke series, check the link in the description, we are back to some Minecraft and we are making some improvements to the cave. And let me tell you, terraforming underground is kind of weird. So today, since most of the episode has been terraforming that can get slightly boring, we are going to mix it up with the Q&A, where I answer some of the questions people have left in the many comments. So let's jump right into it. So Completely Real Person 501 asks, what took you so long to upload a video? Well, life? Well, mostly editing, but I wanted to take a step back from playing to make videos and just playing to enjoy myself. Actually, that has been why we started the Nuzlocke series. I started watching a ton of videos from Pokemon Challenges, MJ2B, 4V, VGC, and I ended up just trying Nuzlocke myself, but I didn't feel like playing and talking at the same time, so I pretty much just started playing, started recording, and then dubbed over it. And that's actually how this video has come into existence. Aristotle asked, why? Why not? Stevie Real Dude asked, how did you decide to make a channel? Well, this one is pretty simple. I really like playing games and I really like editing and making just silly jokes. So a great way of putting all of it together was to make videos of me playing games and making silly jokes. And once you have videos of playing games while making silly jokes, it's way easier to just store them on YouTube than to keep them in a hard drive forever. Which actually reminds me that I have to clean it up soon or I'll run out of space. So Florence Copernicus asked, why Minecraft? Well, games can have different things, either the story, the competitive side, or where you can take the game. And I was a really big fan of sports games, although I'm terrible at them, and when the genre sort of turned into a competitive play, I sort of stopped playing them. I like better, the building the team and all that. Now, story-wise, I was the kind of person that obsesses over a game until the story is finished. And I wouldn't stop until I ended the game. I remember I did this with Skyward Sword, where I promised my parents I would finish it in 2 days so I could study for exams, and thank God I did that, because I wouldn't have been able to concentrate in neither of them. Now, Minecraft is a whole different thing, where you get to decide where the story goes, and with the endless possibilities, it's about you being creative, and that's how I started with the sandbox genre in general. Dark Jagami asked, are you going to reveal your face? Well, I'm not really comfortable mixing up personal life and my internet persona. They are pretty much the same person, but the moment that I make a joke that goes too far, I'd like, none of them to just get damaged by it. Besides, just adding my face doesn't really add anything to the type of stuff that I make. The only moment that I would consider showing my face would be if there's a charity event and they wanted me to show up. But for that I first need to make some money out of this, and that's not going to happen anytime soon. Not that I care that much about it, but... So CloudTate69 asked, dude, you only have 2 subs, what's the point of talking to no one? Well, the point is just to have a creative outlet. As I said, this is not about the subscribers or fame, glory of having 3 subscribers. Could you imagine just having 3 subscribers? Maybe you can help the Dream Boy subscribe to the channel, who knows? But it's not about that. It's about, a hobby that includes publishing the videos on a platform. So I'm not that concerned about subscribers. However, if I started getting some, the first thing that I'd like to know is how to improve the videos. And to be honest, sometimes when you make something, it's pretty hard to be objective about it. But someone from the outside might be able to give some constructive feedback. So that also leads to the drop a comment on this if you find anything interesting or something that I could actually improve on, well, on the videos that I make. Shrektacular asked, how do you come up with video ideas? Well, that's a tricky one. I mostly started making videos with the idea of using different formats to tell the story of a dude playing Minecraft, starting with the intro and then getting into other formats like the silent episode. I really like sort of the deconstruction when you're using a format, like making fun of the cliches and stuff that always happens in the type of video that you're making. And at the same time, well, I know that I'm not going to do this forever, but there are only a limited number of styles that you can make fun of or, sort of pay an homage. It's not all just sort of making fun of the people that make those sorts of videos. But I would also like to find something like that, something you see and you think, all right, that's Bracky. And I think that I got there with the terrible animations and the awful puns, but, I would like it to be me. And we also need to talk about influences, like not everything is just me using a really old format. I've mentioned plenty of content creators when I reference something, but if I had to go for one, I would say Rendok. Like the editing, the way that he makes every single video interesting, it's just amazing. Crafterminer001 asked, I thought this was a Minecraft channel, like, are you making Pokemon stuff? Well, that comes hand in hand with the point of this video, and we sort of talked about it in the first question. I had a sort of Q&A style video in mind for a while, but during the summer I felt more like playing games for the sake of it, and dealing with the editing later on, and that's how I started with the Nuzlocke, and actually thinking about dubbing over the video rather than recording every time. It's a pain to edit, but well, the audio quality is way better, well, with the terrible microphone that I have, and I could cut down the worst parts of the video and make it sort of faster paced. So in the end, the dubbing has its upsides, but it has some downsides in the, in the amount of work that you have to put into the editing afterwards. Francis asked, just Francis. I'll ask since no one is asking, what are your thoughts on the 1.19.1 update and all the stuff about censorship? And I think this is a tricky one, and I'm definitely late to the party. I think that anything that is there to protect the community and the most vulnerable is always a good idea. But there's always a catch. One thing is to protect the community, and a whole different thing is establishing a system that automatically reports comments and bans people. I think the way they put it forward, it's kind of weird. They should have first talked with the community and seen the perspective of the actual players, rather than just pushing a new update that could be game-changing for many people. The other thing is how you're going to enforce this. Like, I feel it's a little bit optimistic to think about all the reports being checked by a person instead of just the much cheaper spot. Like, we're talking about a company here. Cheap goes first. On the other hand, the other tricky thing is making it a general thing. I have been, lucky enough to find really nice people in the SMPs that I've played. Shout out to the Lime Gaming community. And having a nice community made kind of irrelevant a sort of moderation except for the very specific cases, and then the admins just made the right decisions on that. So if you have a good moderation team within the server, it's kind of pointless to have a higher admin banning people. And the last thing to address is the end of Minecraft trend. I don't think Minecraft is going to die, but this sets up a sort of precedent moving forward that might not be the best. The fact that the company doesn't really care about what the fan base is willing, about what the fan base thinks, and is willing to modify how everyone interacts with one another within the game to fit a specific agenda, without thinking about how would you do it first. And after the whole spiel, I think 1.19.1 is a weird update. We'll have to see how everything evolves. But I don't think that moderation is a bad idea. But how do you make it makes a massive difference between protecting people from harmful messages and just outright censorship. We'll have to wait and see, but just drop a comment with your thoughts. XX Dragon Slayer XX asked, a new Minecraft Live is happening soon, and they said something like what you said on your 1.19 review. You psychic? Something? Well, what a good question for some self-promotion. Check the video on the card for a quick review on 1.19. But yeah, I think it's mostly about the expectations we set and what you deliver. Like 1.19 is awesome, but we got promised way more. It's not a bad update, but the expectations were too high. And the other thing is just Lady Agnes and the way she talks about it. Like, it's a massive change from the concept art is not a commitment. Una998VT asked, have you considered playing in an SMP? Well, sure. I actually had the most fun in the world in the Lime Gaming server with a massive project with some friends building a city with plenty of flats to live and minigames areas. I'll show it to you in another video. I was actually looking for an SMP to play and, to keep making videos, but actually I was sort of scared of having weird messages popping up in the chat. So if I want to put something weird in the video, I'm going to decide it myself. But, if I got an invite on a server and knew there was going to be a sort of filter to what can we say in chat to make recording easier, then sure, why not? Spear0101 asks, what's the future of the cave? Well, you'll have to wait and see. I have some big plans for where the series is going and I'm very excited for it. But yeah, we're not going to ditch the cave just yet. Like, it's going to be our main base and, yeah, we're going to try to expand it. But yeah, we're not going to ditch the cave just yet. Bracky J. That name rings a bell. How do you make a Q&A with no questions? What do you mean with that? It's not like I wanted to talk about some things and I made up the people that wrote those comments and tailored the questions for what I really wanted to talk about. Like, what do you think this is? Cable news? And with this cinematic view of the cave, I'd like to address the elephant in the cave. Yes, none of these questions were real, but the answers sort of were. I guess that's what matters, right? If anyone happens to see the video and their username is the same as the ones that I've used, I'm sorry I've used your name without asking, and leave a dislike on the video just to make sure that I know you have seen it. If it turns out that you have seen the video but your name didn't appear in any of the questions, just leave your own questions down in the comments below and I'll make sure that the next Q&A that I do has some actual questions instead of just using a format for me to talk about some things that I had in my head. The other thing I'll say is these terraforming projects are way cooler to see with a cam account, and I vowed to use the first bit of money I get from this to get another one and just be able to make cooler videos. This took a ton of time to make, not that long to edit to be honest, but the final product would look so much better if I had a bird's eye view, well, in this case, one of the glow squids floating in the pools above view. And from the cave, let's give a closer look to everything that we have made. So over here, well, yeah, we showed it, but there is supposed to be a spruce farm that I don't know why it's growing. I thought that it was going to be tall enough, but yep, let's see if that grows. What is definitely growing is that over, well, not at the moment, but we have another tree farm over there that is growing nicely. And one of the things that we did was use, actually, yeah, let's check that tree farm, because that's how we got the bees. So apparently in every biome, if you place a sapling, usually the birch sapling works best. If you place a sapling 2 blocks away from a flower, it has a 5% chance of spawning a bee nest. So we just use that to get to get 4 bees nests, and then just getting the rest by breeding. And we got this really nice bee farm, really simple. Actually, we are able to get all the honeycombs and all the honey bottles that we are going to need. So the last bit of redstone that we needed, complete. We have also made, actually, to make all of these paths that I'm actually very, very happy with all the mud, the mud bricks, dirt, and oak slabs, that we have made using this lump over here. So that is the mud farm that we showed a tutorial for with the TNT duper that we showed in the tutorial. So I'll leave a link as well for you to give it a look just in case. But to make the mud, well, the packed mud and the mud bricks, we did need some wheat. And wheat we got. Yep. The other thing that we have made, and I'm not sure if we are going to actually use it, is this over here. Actually, let me get some bone meal and I'll show you how it works. So that took longer than I thought, but we finally got our bone meal. So if we we put our bone meal in its chest, it goes away. If we activate this lever, it activates a minecart. Hear it, and if we press this button, we get all of the roots from the rooted dirt. And if we start picking it up, it just keeps going the rooted dirt that we are collecting on this chest. So, pretty simple farm. Actually, not as simple as this, which is just a massive hole up just to get all of the drip stuff, drip leaf. But yep, also a little bit of redstone and a little bit of farming that we have done in this area. And I'm actually very, very happy with how this all looks, especially after the massive amount of time that it took to drain all of this lava lake and turn it into water. And when it came to the other side, you can see that I couldn't be bothered to do the same. But maybe eventually. But we haven't just been working on the cave down below. We have also put some work in different places in the base. And actually, here's the result. We have finished the rest of the shops that we needed for the cave. And actually, we're going to look at them and see, well, the designs and, well, how we finished the alley. Well, finished. I still need to put that ambience that I promised. I think it was in the 3rd episode or something. But yeah, just fixing the road. But let's give a look to the rest of the shops. We're going to start with this one over here. And just in case it's, well, yeah, just in case that is not a giveaway, this should be. So we have this fletching area that I actually don't care that much about the trades. Maybe that arrow of slow falling. But yeah. An arrow of fire resistance, that's not that bad. But yeah, we have our shooting range where we can not see where our arrow has landed, but one of those cool touches, and actually this touch over here for hiding the lights. Then the next thing, yeah, we're going to skip first to this over here. This, to be honest, I didn't know what to do with this. This is supposed to be a bank where we're going to put, well, sort of a piston door or a vault door to just keep all the goodies, all the irreplaceable stuff that we are going to collect. But yeah, you can see that this is extra storage that is completely empty. But the one that I actually wanted to make from actually quite some time ago, and it's this one over here with the cartographers. Because cartographers have this trade over here. And with the glass spying that we have from the librarians, we are able to get almost infinite emeralds. And at the same time, there is this project over here. Well, yeah, we wanted to get item frames because they are impossible to get. Well, yeah, I don't want to kill all the pigs for that. So in here, 1 item frame for 1 emerald. And actually, can get some maps because we are not going to be able to, well, see the surface ourselves. But we could get a glimpse of that. Well, what the fuck?